In it to win it. In it to fucking. In it to motherfucking win it. Make sure I got the goddamn. Alrighty. We doing it. So, I feel like I'm coming into my Pisces era, man. I feel good about doing so. You know what I mean? About letting go and letting God. For the most part, But you know what I'm saying? Like, feeling good about, like, tapping into that realm, that whole atmosphere when it comes to how I present myself or how I choose to, like, put myself in a new space of being. I feel like, because if I remember correctly, Pisces, since I'm a Virgo being my earth sign, me tapping into my opposite sign or whatever the case and just trying to figure out, like, you know what I mean? And so it's not being so, like, of course, not being, just finding balance, I would say, between the two. It's obvious because, the opposites, but me making sense of it, of course, that's what this whole thing is about, too. Along with a plethora of other things, clearly, but, what I'm saying? Me making sense of the balance of the two of the Virgo Pisces and just kind of realizing, I don't maybe have to because I'm super cool. Like I realize, like with this thing I want to talk about too, daydreaming. When I talk about this thing too, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how when you go full circle and you kind of see it, it kind of plays out and you go, holy shit. Because Dolo talks about that too, but I just realized it in other things as well, where it's just like, holy shit, I've been doing stuff like that. I've always done. That's what I've always been doing, and there's never really been anything different. I just haven't really tapped into the fact that that's what I've always been doing since I could remember. And since I could remember, I've been daydreaming. I daydream a lot. Well, not a lot, not a lot. I won't say like a lot, but at some point it also turned into less daydreaming and just being more critical. You know, which is nothing wrong with being critical. What's that word? Not critical, but not critique, but is it not pessimist? What is it? Cause I don't know. I couldn't think of it right now. But yeah, that word. You know what I'm saying? But that's more of what it turned in. That's what it turned into. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me just having the energy of taking from that daydream world and then applying it to whatever have you, that you know what I'm saying, that was the issue for me. Or I'm not saying it's not an issue, but you know what I'm saying, that's just the thing that I had. It's like, see, like I said, it's just seeing the balance of it all, but just noticing, you know what I mean, like not being so hard on myself without going too far off into la la land, and just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to like, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying, I gotta like buy the book all the time. I gotta be a certain way. I gotta look and feel and do a certain thing because who knows why I've conjured up this whole thing in my mind and what makes the reasons on why I do what I do have to be the, you know what I'm saying. So now it's like I said, it's the goal to, like I'm most likely speaking another one of finding a new foundation, building a new foundation, or having to destroy one and finding a new starting point when it comes to personalities and us being the people that are going to start running things around here. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, is what I mean. In a shortened version. You know what I'm saying? Us being the ones that make the difference and kind of, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was a part of it. Like I said, with this, the big thing was like me being so by the book and proper, and not even proper necessarily, but just trying to be, molded up in a certain casing, and thinking that if I just do, you know what I'm saying, the things I need to do this way and apply it this way, then I'll get this result, thinking that that makes sense, and me only looking at the results instead of just, you know what I'm saying, like I'm only looking to do whatever for results instead of doing it and just enjoying it because I'm doing it. Not thinking I gotta rush off and do something. Me being able to dictate the time and pace of which I do it. You know what I'm saying? Me choosing to think this is what I'm gonna, be about and do, and that's what it do. That's just what it's gonna be. And that's fun to navigate, like I said, because it's not just I'm doing it. I have to actually go down that whole path, make a bunch of mistakes, talk to people, get rejected, go through the whole, you know what I'm saying? I have to go through this to just like get to the simple form of I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just I get it and boom, I went through all these things to make it really simple, and now I get it. I made all this complicated stuff simple, and now it makes more sense for me. Not just, oh yeah, no, you didn't go through enough experience. I get you can just say that, and yes, that's good to do if you at least trying to get yourself in that mindset. But if you know it ain't really what's up, then you know. So, like I say, I'm trying to get into this whole space now. I'm doing it. I do it. But you know what I mean? I'm trying to get into this space of like more La La Land and less, being less critical on myself. You know what I'm saying? And actually just kind of like doing whatever and feeling good about it. So like I say, man, it may not seem, and that's what I was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? It may not seem like these videos or what I do at certain times, or like even stuff like me talking about this has a point or a reason, or like what is it? But me doing this is like it, even though it may not seem, but like in the grand scheme of things, I can, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's all there, you know what I'm saying, for the build up, you know what I mean? And so, like I say, I realized with this thing, with the human experience, human design chart thingy, whatever, me realizing the difference between, because you know what I'm saying, going through the numbers, like I said before, there's numbers and there's things attached to different parts of the body, and there's ones that you can connect to and look up, and all that stuff. And I'm seeing like this part of the self and the not self when it comes to, you realizing, or once you go through yours, that, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of things that, like I said, you do that you may not need to do, but you be in your head thinking you needing to do it, and you don't needing to do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody's stopping you, but if it's kind of like a detriment to yourself to realize that you could be doing something else that's way more aligned to you than what you think you need to be doing. And so what I mean is me realizing that, because it said that I'm a generator, and me not being like a manifester or whatever the case, or whatever other ones, And you know, me, because even when you hear the word generator, you think, you know, see, at least I would think, you know, generating means that I'm initiating, you know, meaning I'm the one. If I'm generating, but it's more of like an emitting than it's like a beacon, like a call, I would say. The way I'm hearing it, because I just, like, it's just all new to me, to, you know, attract things that have a reason to be able to respond to, and that'll be the call for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the call, is technically the one I gave. You know what I mean? So it's like that thing. So it's like, you think you're waiting for a call, but you're not waiting for a call. I'm making the call happen. You know, that's what I mean when I say, because like I thought, but it's not. It's a little bit perplexing in a sense, because it's like, what do you mean I don't do nothing, but I do something? So I do stuff because I can't wait around, but then I still have to make the point to start something. And what is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I get it. Like I said, with this, or with the whole thing being a generator, it seems that I am creating the vibe. I'm generating. I'm setting a premise. I'm creating the structure. I'm giving, you know what I'm saying, the prerequisites, if you will. You know. And so it makes a little more sense when I hear generator instead of all the other ones, where it's like, because it you know, they talked about that, where it's like, thinking that I'm a go getter, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not necessarily a go getter. I'm not a go getter, and it kind of feels, and you know what it is? It's relieving, to be honest, to hear that I'm not a go getter. That I'm not a person that needs to be like out, you know, all the time up in the streets doing this and the third, and hitting licks and hitting chicks, and, you know, up in the six with my woes on the flows, getting mowed, does and no's, and if you know you don't, now you go, what, oh, or something like that, right? I don't know. But, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's not my thing, apparently, to be the go-getter necessarily. But they were explaining that that's the whole deal with it not being, like, I'm not a go-getter, but it makes sense on me being the person to, if I'm initiating, because I still, like I said, I'm initiating for a response. I'm initiating and doing things to, funny enough, like, essentially get a rise out of people, in a sense. Like, it may sound like, what the, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm essentially getting a rise out of people. I'm the person that goes, hey, and you go, what? And you go, ah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so like I said, so the initiating is me putting my energy out there, and then having a response to said response. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, like I said, so instead of thinking I need to go, I need to listen. I need to pay attention. I need to put energies out there, different signatures, videos, and things, you know. Things as such in natures, you know what I mean? And apparently more of a Piscean nature, you know? Which is funny, because, like, it's one of those things, dude, where it's just like, and especially don't even understand it, but just like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't understand, but also, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And now I kind of have to, like, understand it and be cool with that, you know, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Just, not, of course, they're not all just, like, all loopy, just, but you get what I mean, man. Just, like, being more open to just, like, say some shit, do some shit, instead of, like, questioning what is, you know what I mean? And so, like I say that. So back to the thing where it's like talks about the self and the not self, and so like I say, like, you got like for the self, you got lift others, spread joy, energy, do what we love. I put waiting for it to come to me, and that's what I was saying, but it's not like I don't do nothing. Still make videos, still research, still try to, you know what I'm saying, still regulate my own mind, still try to capitalize on helping other people figure out their ways and how that they can get their own starting points by seeing what I do and talk about and all this other, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still having to make things happen. So it's not doing things, but it's not thinking that I need to go out and be the first one and do all the stuff and work the hardest and try to get the whole thing. And which is what I mean. This is like, which is way more, if I had to, choose, would be more of a Virgoic energy than a Piscean energy. You know what I'm saying? Of the go, or analyze and do this and try to like, whatever the case. And realizing that that's not part of me being a generator is more of like, of a Piscean energy. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to piece it together, but it's funny because they talk about, I've seen it as like it's a part of your astrology chart too, just as much as, human design is the same. It's just, of course, a more human version of it. But it says, waiting for it to come to me, patience, waiting to respond. And it's funny because, like, I finally started to get on, and I'm saying this a while back, but getting on Instagram and putting myself out there and expressing myself in ways and really questioning, like, because I've always been interested in dark, taboo, occult, like I said, all these things, sex and drugs and rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole nine, man. And being a question like, well, is that something that I need to do? Is this what I need to think about? Is this, how would people think of me? How, I would never, if I could, and if I would do it, I hope nobody would ever see me, or, things like that, or, dealing with the body and not just sex, but just dealing with the body in general when it comes to like the sacral and doing dance and performative things and just whatever the case may be, right? And me like just going like, what? You know what I mean? And having that realm of shame and feeling that and being like, is it really me that wants to do all this stuff? And, it's very difficult for me to even express myself and give myself to people and for them to be able to see exactly how I do and look and my emotions. And will they hate me or put me down for it even more? And I have to act like I don't give a shit when I know I do, but I really don't, because fuck them. But, man, I really don't want to have to say things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I said I don't want to have to say things like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I won't, you know what I mean? But it's like, that whole thing, So it's funny how, like, like I said, the journey, essentially, I keep saying it because, like, the journey to things, when you realize, when you look up this stuff and see, oh, that's so, yeah, but I'm on the journey. That's what this is. It's not a big old hiccup and, oh my God, it's not a big old hiccup and all that stuff or like that, right, or whatever, but it's not the end of the world that I'm having to realize that I just need to shift my thoughts and my things this way, right? So, like I said, with me with the shame, it's just funny how when I go watch those videos, like the one of the ones I did today, but she was talking about that, and it's like you gotta, you're down for the sacral and the sexual energies and the all that stuff, and dance, and putting yourself into motion, and getting the body working, and all this stuff. And funny enough, me talking about, so I don't know, I'm big on the spirituality, but I'm really good with the body. I really, like doing this type of stuff. I like the behind the scene things. I like the, you know what I mean? It's so funny that it all kind of like, and but me be going, yeah, I like it, but but it's wrong, or is it not wrong, but is it this, but it's not, it, and the whole, again, the shame, because me trying to say, oh, wow, I don't give a fuck about what people think about me, and it is, I kind of fucking do, you know what I'm saying? I can't really hide the fact that I kind of fucking do, but me getting into this new parts of myself, when I really start to dive deep, I kind of fucking don't. You know what I'm saying? I really kind of don't. And it's a beautiful thing to start to realize that side of it too. It's really not that serious. There's a lot of people out here, and are you really judging that hard, mama? Come on, man. Really? And so, like I said, she said about the whole, yes, you'll have the whole shame around it, all this stuff, but you'll be into the dance and the sex and the, I don't even know what I put there. What does that say? Oh, sacral. It does say sacral, I think. Body movements, responding from the body. And she even gave, like, you know what I'm saying, like, real, like, not all of them were like sensual, but like Wicked Games, Inside My Love, How Does It Feel, not by D'Angelo. I didn't write the people down, but you know what I'm saying, like giving like different ideas of like my energy, things like that. I know everybody knows like at least Wicked Games and stuff like that, but yeah, I even wrote here, like, you know what I'm saying? The line of path thinking, her saying the same things, like, I feel. Because, like, if you notice it, I'm saying I notice, is, you know what I mean? Like, me even talk about tribal stuff or having family or community, me talking about that, and me go look up these videos, just like, you're going to want tribal energy. That's really huge, this stuff. It's like every single thing that I don't think is me, and I'm actually fighting self and not realizing that's what I'm doing, plays out to where I'm like, dude, if you would have just fucking... So it's like talking about planning before children, raw sexual war, protection energy, unrational rage. I put that. I don't remember what they said, but I put that. Need of clarity, aura busting. I don't know what that is. Casanova. But you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I got, some parts, and I still got a lot more to write of self. And then the not self is like, I only wrote a couple, but go get it, attitude, stuck in frustration, figure it out. And me even in videos going like, well, not figure it out. Like I'm not, because there's nothing to really figure out. And it's like, there's really nothing to figure out. I'm really that much sound within myself emotionally. I really am aware of like my surroundings. I really am in like the know. I like there's nothing to really figure out, and it makes sense what that means. Things unappealing. I think that maybe things that are unappealing to me altogether. Fear and urgency, like things like that. Like just realizing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you daydream on it. Oh, you it's like, oh, you're lazy. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And it's like I said, when you go and watch these videos yourself and you do your whole chart and you realize, you hear those negative connotations, just realize people just don't get where you're coming from, who you are, what your life is about, who you're supposed to be coming, into, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize stuff like that. And I think it's hilarious because it's like me seeing it for myself. Like, dude, just you're thinking too much, you're doing too much. But people and surroundings and all this other stuff tell me otherwise. So it's like, so yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to talk about. You know what I mean? Kind of get into, like I said, it's way more of a Pisces type of world. This is something I'm really not used to because I'm so, you know, straightforward and in my head, like very, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get more right brained, if you will, you know. Not everything needs to make sense. Not everything needs to have a path. And most likely, if you let it be, it'll still bring you, you know what I'm saying, to where is what I'm seeing. It'll still get you there, even if it doesn't make sense necessarily. Which is, like I say, it's tough, but it's nice to know. You know what I'm saying? I'm realizing it's tough, but it's nice to know that now that I can see, okay, it may be difficult and interesting, but at least you know that that's what you're supposed to be going through. Like, this is not all just fucking nonsense, dude, you know? So I would definitely encourage people to go check out their human design chart or whatever like that. Because this shit's... It's interesting. Like, that's pretty much, like I say, when I first started this whole thing, what do you even talk about? You know, what do you say? What do you do? What are the reasons? Where does it all stem from? You know? And like I say, it's funny how, like what I was saying in the other videos, me making up my own starting points and not piggybacking off of someone else's starting points. So things like I said, when I first started doing these a couple months ago, it was, I want a clean slate. I don't want to know. If I could just dump everything just out of my brain and just have a new idea of what I want to do, whether it be dance or some type of like something with the body, whether it be photography or modeling or, you know, just talking, if it's just a straight podcast thing, or and I'm just talking with random nonsense, whether it be teaching or, you know, whatever, like, what is it gonna be? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of education may I bring? What kind of thing energy may I come with? You know. And so before it was like, well, I don't really know, but I'll just do whatever comes to mind first. And it, you know, before you know it, I'm trying to do my best to, you know, teach you how to, like, I'm doing a great job at. I think it. Yes, I am. You know, and teaching you how to, like, teach other people how to do something even if you don't know how to do it. You know, like yoga or something, or breathing, or realizing this, like, you can tap in to see how there's mechanisms to go do things or see things and not have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a mechanism to things. You can now take that mechanism, work it, and teach the yoga person something. Teach the, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they don't, you know what I mean? And so that's what I did. And that's what I'm teaching. That's what this is. Me going, if I wanted to walk up in a church, if I wanted to walk up in a yoga place, if I wanted to walk up wherever I wanted to walk up into, because I did the work in here, on my own accord, and say, screw looking up any other discipline, I'm going to try to learn one for myself. And have full confidence in getting lost in nothing. Because that's what it felt like. What are you going to... It took weeks and months. how do you even talk about that one thing with your shoulder injury? How do you even talk about that one thing where you figured out that this one thing with the breath and the nose and the, how do you even talk about fixing your spine and doing, how do you even talk about that? Where does that, you know what I'm saying? Where does it all come from? How do you get all that off and make it make sense so people can then use that and then realize they can apply that to other things as a new mechanism, and knowing, if I just do some of this little thought here, there myself and realize it for myself and do the spiritual work and all the other stuff, I can then see how these other people thought about it. And now I got a whole new thought on that. And now I can teach you something. Never did yoga in my life, but I guarantee you now I know. You know what I'm saying? As an example, because I did do yoga. But never did it before in my life. But if I sat here long enough and did all the work myself, like I say, that whole derivative was like me doing the manifestation. It's a lot, because I have a lot of videos about it, but me doing the manifestations and materializing and do all the stuff like that, right? Bringing it down, realizing that if I put myself in certain spaces, that I could know how to move myself with the breath, mind, mental, move my muscles individually, find a different, do all of this stuff to then heal myself. Through this healing that I now know I can do, I can break up bones, body, muscles, tendons, tissues, ligaments, move all this stuff around, right? I'm making an example of this for the mental part of it. When I can say if I've never went to a yoga class and I did all this stuff on my own, then I can I can place this in any other subject. If I just did enough of this research myself, applied that to my own life, really did the research on if it was about emotions or about psychology, if it was about whatever it is, right? Find those mechanisms of how it started off, who came up with it, how did it all begin in the first place, what was it all about? You know what I'm saying? How could it have, it was, like I said, me doing that turned out, because I breathe this way enough, because I move this way enough, because I find that thing, I started to get into these modes where I have to move fully. Like this, it's so much so because I've moved so many little muscles, I can now see, my body now has to move, and before you know it, I'm in a yoga pose. Before you know it, I'm doing I'm in cow position, reverse crawl raven cow position, you know what I'm saying? Wimble puff cow position. I'm all up in it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You automatically, me saying that yes, you can put yourself there, body, do the thing. Do warrior, do the, but when you realize that you have to move within this and get yourself to that position to where your body has, you're moving this way now. You have to move this way because you're in this another sequence, because you're in here and you did all the stuff that before you know it, you started somewhere, and before you know it, and before you know it, and before you know it, and before you know it. So it's like having that idea of knowing. Now, like I say, I may not know all the yoga poses and yoga moves and all this stuff, but I realize where hatha yoga comes from, where face yoga, what that means and how that came about. It makes sense on when I do all this stuff. It makes sense so much so that I feel like if I can get enough information, I'll make a whole new yoga. Like a mental yoga. But it's like you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. And that's where I started to get to where all the other ones are like, oh, that's why they do this. That's why you make the sounds. This is why you do the thing. This makes sense to me. And not just because it's not like I have to go to another class, sit there for 12 weeks. I can and I might. But, you know what I'm saying? I did enough of the work myself that I could, like I said, this is simple, I already said it a bunch of times. I can see what makes you do what you do, because I've done the work on what I did, you know what I'm saying, and figuring out how to bring something new into this world. Jesus. You know what I mean? And now, no matter how anybody feels or what they think, or if they think is true or not, or real or not, or whatever the case, I can tell you that you can literally move muscles, bones, ligament, tegament, hidden, brew it, hit a minute, with your mind. Like, you can literally do it with your mind. You know what I mean? You can literally do it with your mind. So it's, and I can say that with full confidence and not really care if anybody heard me say it. Like, it's like, you literally can do every muscle strand, I know, I know, I know. So yeah, man, it's just like I said. So I'm ushering in a new energy, a new thing, a new all this, and like I say, when it really clicks for you, you realize, oh, these people don't know what they're talking about, and these are the reasons why. Because I can see, through this, they don't know why they're teaching. Like I said, if I ask somebody, like, why do you breathe, they'll give me, because I don't want to die, not because I know how to move my mind, move muscle with my mind, aid that. And if I can't use, certain parts, I'll sing it. If I can't do, you know what I'm saying? If I can't move myself to do it, I'll sing it. If I can't do it through singing, I'll, squeeze and crunch it. If I can't do that, I'll do the mind, so I can get the little details, because I might not know. Some things might be numb, but I know that if I can think about it, I might be able to, like, and you might be like, what? Yeah, but that's what you know? So me getting out of this, like, thinking I gotta be all perfect and all this other stuff, and I can just let myself hang loose. And just, you know what I'm saying? Develop that dreamy aura, dude. That's what I like, I'm cool with that. Yeah. And that's why I say I may just need to be making sense a little more, and breaking down, like, what I'm saying. I'm saying the things I'm saying it for, but, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's one step at a time, man. Like I said, I just want to be able to tap in on as many subjects as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want my hand in it. All up in it, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. Yeah, I feel like I got it all out. What you think? You think? I think so too. I think we good. We good? We good. Alright. Hey.